Hey, Cub fans! Thanks for joining us here on Cubs 24/7, where Randy talks Cubs. We're going to talk about day two of the Cubs convention for 2024. Another great day, another great celebration of being a Cub fan. A lot of really good activities. I followed it, and I just took some notes. Anytime something happened that I thought was going to be sort of interest to us, I jotted it down. So I've got some quotes, some stories, some things to kind of give you just a little wrap up, so you feel like you know what went on in the convention today. So it started off at 9 a.m. with Jed Hoyer and Carter Hawkins basically taking notes. And one of the first things that was discussed is the notion that, and this is maybe a criticism that Jed has been getting, is that he's dealing with the Cubs as a small market mentality. So he was asked about that, and his response was that he thinks that's what he should be doing. So the idea of what a small market mentality is, I guess we could, try to define that. But when confronted, he just said, "Yeah, that's kind of the way I think I should be doing it." So Jed also said for sure that we have a few more moves in us right now. He said yesterday that we were in the fourth or fifth inning of the offseason. But he followed it up with a very interesting line. I think, and it sort of takes me to where we are with maybe Belly. But he said, we have more moves in us, but meeting asking prices means you'll be out of money quickly. So he's got his eye on some things, but he's just not going to just take the asking price and make a deal. The quote after that, he said, our job is to get good deals, not just get deals. So that makes sense. He's trying to put good deals together, things that make sense. We're still obviously very focused on Bellinger. Bellinger's name came up, guys, literally over and over again. It's the most common word I heard all day was Bellinger. So Carter Hawkins talked a lot about Christopher Morel. He was asked point blank. I think he talked for about a minute and a half, 2 minutes about Morel. Are you looking to trade him? And basically, Carter Hawkins said, you don't trade a guy with a bat like Christopher Morel. He talked about Christopher having issues trying to find a spot to play him. He played third base in winter ball, and he's taking a lot of reps at first base. He'll play. He's just going to find a place to play him. Carter said, worst case scenario, he gets a lot of time at DH, but we're going to find his bat in the lineup. And there's something that Craig Counsell said later that I'll tell you about that sort of makes that make sense. That they're gonna get Morel's bat in the lineup. We just don't know how. So Carter was pretty upfront about that. Carter also said that we were the ones to reach out to the Dodgers about Bush. I guess they had been tracking it a little bit, and they saw Bush was there, and looking at what the Dodgers had, they knew that it was going to be a problem getting Bush some time. So they reached out and started the discussions regarding Bush. I thought that was interesting. Carter also talked about our rotation being somewhat unusual this year. And the idea of us doing a six-man rotation isn't really what they're thinking, but they're going to be moving a lot of arms around. Carter said that we can expect to see starts from Wesneski, Assad, Wicks, Smiley, Cade Horton, and Ben Brown. So that's not a rotation. Maybe it's like a 5-man or a 4-man with those other guys kind of piecing it together. I don't know, but the reason they're wanting to do that, they want to get a look at everybody and maybe find a hot hand. So I find that to be very interesting moving forward to see kind of. We got about 10 guys who have names being dropped around being starting pitchers. So I just thought that was a really interesting conversation from Carter Hawkins today. The conversation with Craig Counsell was interesting too. Craig actually brought up Hayden Wesneski's name without being asked. And when it happened, it caught me off guard a little bit that he just brought up Hayden Wesneski. So he says he likes him, he's intrigued by him, and he's looking forward to working with him. So I made a mental note at that time. I got to do a Hayden Wesneski profile. So I promise I'll get one out to you by Monday. I'll dive into Hayden Wesneski and I'll get something up by Monday for us to look at, because Council just picked him right out. I mean, it was right out of thin air. Very interesting. Council was talking about his lineup philosophy, and when he's, when he says things, sometimes you're like, oh, that's pretty simple. That's pretty straight. And he just says, I like to give the best hitters the most at bats. I'm like, well, Shazam, And he didn't go as far as saying I'm going to take my best hitters and put them 1, 2, 3, 4 on down. But the best hitters get the at bats is kind of his approach, his philosophy on putting a lineup together. There's something that happened that I want you guys to be aware of. In case it comes up and somebody mentions it, I want you to know what it was. And I'm going to call it the Sutcliffe jab. During Craig Counsell's time, he was talking about Billy Williams. Billy Williams, Fergie Jenkins, Pat Hughes, and Rick Sutcliffe were the legends that were there. And I mentioned yesterday they were all in the blue jackets, where everybody else was in the white home pinstripes. So Craig was talking about how great Billy Williams is, and made the statement, yeah, Billy could have hit 300 with this microphone. And he said, Billy's a real Cub Hall of Famer, not like Sutcliffe. And that phrase, not like Sutcliffe, got some oohs and ahs in the crowd. And Craig was like, was that a jab? And Boog said, yeah, that was a jab. So I just wanted you to know about it in case it comes up and you're, unfamiliar with what it was. That's what it was. And I don't know what Craig Counsell's relationship is with Rick Sutcliffe, but when he said it, I flinched. I was like, Rick probably didn't like that. So the Sutcliffe jab happened, and then of course Craig, followed it up with, hey, I love Rick Sutcliffe. So hopefully that's all fine. But just wanted you guys to know that happened in case it comes up. You're in the know. Boog had at one time when he was interviewing and, not really interviewing, but just facilitating the discussion, the Q&A with Jed and Carter, he kind of joked that we should get Scott Boras on FaceTime right now, get him up. Of course, the crowd said, yeah, let's do it. Let's get this going. So I thought it was very interesting. JD had the pitcher segment. And JD, and I don't know if he's ever admitted this or not, because I've been listening to JD a long time, and I didn't know this, so he may have said this for the first time. But JD said that the only player he ever plunked on purpose was Barry Larkin. I thought that was awesome. A little more news on the Shota piece where he, came in and introduced himself, and he spoke in English. I guess Shota had practiced that for about 2 days to get it good enough where he could pull it off. So he had preparation for Shota. I guess Dansby Swanson has been calling the front office nonstop, lobbying for them to sign Bellinger. And, of course, Dansby's been involved. We knew this. This isn't really news that Dansby has, been involved in the talks. He gets his opinions known. But I guess it's been really nonstop about the Bellinger signing. And at the close today, like the last thing that was almost said, Dansby said, and I'll quote, before we get to next year, we got to re-sign Belly. I mean, he just said it, and that makes me think, it's kind of interesting because if you're Bellinger and we want you, that's probably leverage for you to hold out. Maybe, right? Just if we put ourselves, you're on Belly's team or Cubs front office team when you're in negotiations, the fact that we want you so bad, that's got to give Belly leverage. But then you can turn it around and go, well, that maybe gives the Cubs front office leverage. I mean, we are the Cubs. I think he wants to be a Cub. I said on previous video, why wouldn't he want to be in Wrigley this summer? So I think we all want the same things. And to me, it's just looking more and more like it's got to happen. If it didn't happen now, it'd be just I'm almost devastating. as much as it's been talked about. And we still got another day. I'm still holding out for them to bring Bellinger in tomorrow with just this big, like, could you imagine it be the send-off to close out Cub Convention 2024, to have Bellinger come in? That'd be awesome. So I don't know. I have no idea where it is. You guys know as much about it as I do, but that's kind of where we are. Matt Shaw was one of the 6 prospects that I highlighted in a previous video about the 6 prospects to watch. And apparently he's got his sights set on 2024. He had said that he is taking 99% of all of his reps this offseason at third base. Matt Shaw is eyeing this third base job. So we'll see what happens. I don't know if he's ready. My gut says no, but, he's Matt Shaw, number 1 draft choice. We'll see. But anyway, he's taking all these reps at third base. The last thing I want to give you is something that Pedro Strop gave us. And you guys remember the Jason Hayward speech during the rain delay, Game 7 of the 2016 World Series? Jason Hayward did some kind of a speech, and a lot of people have given the credit to that speech for the Cubs coming out and getting that win. Well, I never knew what Jason said. I don't know if he said it or told somebody and I missed it. But before today, if you'd have asked me what Jason Hayward said during that speech, I would have said, I don't know. Well, Pedro Strop, he told us today. You ready? I'm going to read you the quote. This is what Jason Hayward said during the rain delay in Game 7. Pedro Strop says, "We are here because we are the best in the world. So let's show the world why we are the best." And that was the infamous Jason Hayward quote. Thought it was about time I figured that out or found that out. Really appreciate Stropey telling this. So, all right, that's a wrap for Cubs Convention Day 2, 2024. That's the update, and I'll do the same tomorrow. So I'll put a little wrap up for us tomorrow so we don't miss anything, and we'll look forward to seeing you then. So be looking tomorrow. Probably about this time, I'll have something up for us to wrap up Cubs Convention 2024. Hopefully I got some belly news. All right, that's it. I'll see you tomorrow. Go Cubs, go.